Just getting everything together. Just making sure I'm tapping in with y'all. What's really good? What's really good? What is really good, man? Hope all is well, man. It is July 6th, couple days after July 4th. Let me just turn my stuff up to make sure y'all can hear me correctly. It's the weekly tap in. Yours truly, Dwayne Cofield, man. Hope all has been well. Let's see. Hold on. I got that connected. Let me go ahead and turn that off and get back to the music at B. But anyways, man, I'm just tapping in with y'all. We got a few more minutes before we actually technically begin. So just be patient with us, man. But yeah, today what we're gonna talk about is comfort, man. How overrated it is, right? Like, how can you grow if you're comfortable all the time, like, right? And then our ultimate goal is to be comfortable. But once we're comfortable, are we stretching ourselves? Like, and we could talk about hip hop artists, anybody like that, right? That's just for example. Let's just say a hip hop artist, right? Are you once you've made it, are you still relevant, right? Because your lifestyle changes, things change. You know what I'm saying? So are you still relevant? And that's the key right there. We need to talk about that because changes, comfort is something else. You know, people strive for it, and then once you get there, you know what's the deal? Same thing with weights, right? So we'll talk about it, man. Just stay patient. So they probably let me try to turn this down. They might mute me. So yeah, man. We're tapping in, man. Weekly tap in. Yours truly, of course. I got heat for you guys, man. All has been well. It's popping in LA. They had these fireworks going literally bananas. And I'm pretty sure everybody got cracking with that as well. So in their prospective cities. What's up, family? I see you, Reggie. So appreciate you tapping in. But yeah, man, it was literally bananas, man. In LA, it was smoke everywhere. It looked like even the next morning when we got up, there was smoke everywhere, dog. So we were cool. We had a little bit of fireworks for them, but these cats around the corner had cannons, man. We had a fireworks show outside, so it was lovely, and hopefully everybody enjoyed their barbecue and their family, or whatever the case may be. We're not celebrating their independence. What we're celebrating is the love of each other, and I think we need to get better at that and loving each other. And just celebrating that, not necessarily having to be having a special occasion or anything like that, but just spreading love, man. Shout out to the homie Rome for tapping in with me this week. Just called me randomly, told me, man, love what I was doing, proud of what I was doing, and the favor was returned to the homie. That's my big homeboy, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Rome Stone. I see you, dog. And he's out there making his paper. So if you guys know who he is, tap in with him, man. It's a good brother right there. But kind of brother that just gives you a call. And that's what I got to get better. And we got to get better at that. That's me and you. I'm talking really to myself. I got to get better at tapping in with the homies and just asking them how they doing, right? Just, hey, man, what's happening, man? You need anything? What can I do? If I can do it. Because a lot of times we don't have that support system. And a support system is not only critical, but it's necessary for us to advance, right? Let each other. I wish we had a vegan queue. Okay. Indeed, man. Indeed, man. That's what's up. Get creative with it, man. I know one of my neighbors, he was doing mussels and some seafood stuff, man. But I kept it traditional, homies. So my bad, Reggie. I'm about to, we had ribs and I do this marinated chicken, man, that I get from the Mexican spots. It's pretty good. So welcome. For those who are listening to us or watching us on the replay, appreciate you guys. Those who are tapping in from around the world, I appreciate your eyes and your listening and your ears. If you haven't listened to the podcast, this is based on the Drug Dealers to Businessmen podcast that you can find on Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all of the above, wherever you get podcasts, you can find us. So tap in with that. But what we're talking about, this whole purpose of this episode is comfort, right? And us as humans, our ultimate goal is to seek comfort, right? It's always to seek comfort, right? I need a comfortable chair, right? So if I get a real comfortable chair, what does that do for me, right? I could sit down, I could relax, right? But I'm not necessarily advancing, right? And the conversation comes up, should I always be advancing or should I be moving forward towards trying to relax, right? Trying to chill. And ultimately, we're trying to chill. Like everybody wants to get rich. And I always ask, man, okay, so you want to get rich. Why? So I can get these things. Why? And you keep asking that why, and ultimately you'll get down to the real reason why somebody actually wants to become rich, right? And it's usually because they want to feel comfortable, right? They don't want to have to worry about where their next meal is coming from. Don't want to have to worry about where the next bills are getting paid, anything like that, right? So they're usually looking for that level of comfort to say, let me chill so I don't have to worry anymore, right? But at that time, and that makes sense. I get that. I hear that argument. Hey, man, I want to get to a level where I don't have to worry about my bills, which is the case. But how do you grow, right? How do you grow? It's live or replay. Yeah, this is live right now, homie. So, yeah, how do you grow as an individual? That's a good question. You know what I'm saying? But I know from the gym, when you're in the gym, the only way that you grow is if you take your ass in the heavies, right? Or if you go outside that comfort zone. Right, we're constantly looking for that comfort zone. A comfort zone is usually the homies, the cats we grew up with, right? Or what's that term the cats always coming up with? My day ones. That's the comfort zone, right? When we're in that, I got to stick around my day ones because they make you feel comfortable, right? There's certain people that we used to keep around us that made us feel comfortable, right? Like them chicks too, the bad ones who kept that ugly ass broad around them to make them feel comfortable, to make them feel accepted, to make them feel like I need this around me, right? So comfort zone, let's really, really break that down. Exactly what is it and what does it do for us, right? It makes us feel okay. From my standpoint, it just makes us feel okay. It feels like we're accepted. When I'm in my comfort zone, you always hear about, oh, I'm not in my comfort zone. The hell is a comfort zone, dog? Because I know when I'm advancing, shit is not comfortable at all. It's not nowhere near comfortable. It's scary. It's embarrassing. I'll tell you about surfing, right? No, it's still not comfortable. Love doing it, but is it comfortable? You have no idea what the conditions are going to be when you go out there on that surfboard. It could be straight mountain waves or whatever. And what you going to do, tuck your tail and bounce? No, you got to go out there and embarrass yourself again. And that's one thing I did when I stepped into surfing. I had to go buy the board. I had to go out there and look stupid for at least the first 3 or 4 times. And then after that, cats started tapping in with me, right? Because I said, look at this cat, man. All he's missing is this and this and that. And I had to change my surfboard, da. Long story. But at the same time, it was something outside my comfort zone. Now I'm doing it and I'm a little bit more advanced, but I'm not necessarily at the level that I was before. So the thing too is what weights. When I first started lifting weights, I had the 225 plates on there benching it because I was big. I was already like 6 something, but I never really, really got down with weights. It wasn't something that I did when I was a kid. It wasn't anything like that. We didn't do push-ups. I hated that in practice when I played basketball or whatever. I hated that part. So now I was like, okay, I got to go in here and get outside my comfort zone because my comfort zone is not doing shit, right? That's usually with the comfort zone. That's the best comfort zone for everybody is to find excuse and not do shit about it. Whatever it is, whatever irritating. I don't think I've told you guys about the story about the dog that's sitting on the porch, but I'll tell you guys a real quick story about the dog that's on the porch. And this has to do with the comfort zone, right? Les Brown, I think, talks about this dog. He says there's a guy walking in the field. His car breaks down and he walks past this old farmer's house. And on the farmer's sitting there in a rocking chair, similar to one I'm in right now. He's sitting there in a rocking chair. And he's basically saying, he got a dog sitting there and the dog is howling. The dog is like, just sitting there howling. And the guy's like, man, can I use your phone? Call tow truck, da. And he's getting on the phone. He's like, hey, man, but why is this dog howling like this? And the farmer's just sitting there and he's saying he's sitting on a nail. He's like, why don't he get up? He's like, because it doesn't hurt bad enough. And that's the thing about it. You know what I'm saying? Comfort, right? He's gotten comfortable. It's not bothering him enough. Same thing with a messy room, anything like that. Anytime you want change, it's got to be something that bothers you enough internally for you to want to move forward and do something different. And then when you do make that move towards doing something different, it's not going to be comfortable. Who's that? Oh, somebody put let me see. Damn. Don't allow yourself to do something. Once upon a time, there was a gentleman walking down the street. He came across the house. Okay. Oh, yeah. So you put the story out there. What book is that in, Reggie? Indeed, man. Y'all getting my stories, dog. But yeah. So appreciate that, Reggie. I'll try. I don't know if I can share this because that's long, man. He put the whole story about the dog, man. So the anecdotes that I'm telling you guys, and these are tried and true, man. They out there, right? So the same thing. I'm not the stuff that I do. I'm not coming off the top of my head, dude. I read a lot of different books. books, man. Constant reading books. And some of you guys we can cross-reference, and you can tell in my delivery what books I've read or what books I'm currently reading. Pretty obvious. And a lot of times I'll share them. Not 99% of the time, I'll share them with you guys to show you, hey, man, this is what's available and this is what I'm tapping into. So, yeah, man, back to change, right? Or comfort, right? Because if you're comfortable, the only thing that's left is to change. And how do we do that? Right? We got to move. We got to get uncomfortable, right? We got to get uncomfortable. The same thing with addressing that girl. The most comfortable thing in the world, and I keep repeating this, is doing nothing. That is so comfortable because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to make a move. You're not going to be embarrassed. You don't have to worry about failure. Oh, did I say failure? Yeah, that F word once again, failure, right? Because most of the time we get comfortable because we don't want to face, failure. And a lot of times failure is sitting right in front of our face, 100% of the time, right in front of our face. And we're like, man, I don't want to take that chance and change because I might fail at that, right? So I'm going to stick with my comfort zone. I'm going to stick to the city that I'm in. I've been a constant traveler, man. I'm from San Diego, lived in Phoenix, lived in the high desert, and I'm currently living in Los Angeles. And I said the only other places I go is Seattle and probably Seattle, San Francisco, or New York, because those cities are my speed. And I don't care how old I get. Those are the cities that I'll be one of them old gray hair cats that's dipping through the city because that's the kind of thing I need, right? So when you talk about comfort zone, I think I talked about last week, the Native American tribe, right, that moved themselves every 30 years, uprooted themselves because a comfortable life is not a meaningful life, right? You can have all the money. What somebody said, man, I'll write you a blank check right now. Man, that's boring. What do you have to aspire to? That's probably why a lot of people don't play the lottery, especially entrepreneurs, because they're not trying to win like that. They know that it's not the ultimate goal that's there. It's that race. It's that journey. It's that failure. It's that overcoming things. It's that overcoming obstacles. It's that all that, but not necessarily just sitting there saying, I'm going to be average. Right? Oh, yeah. So Monet Brown, she said, I think it's Les. Yeah. Found her on Les Brown page. Yeah, because Les Brown tells that story. But yeah, that's what it is. Steve Harvey's got a really good video. Talks about just stepping out on faith, right? He was like, man, there's never going to be a right time. You see him, he's getting in his garage. He's got the Bentley. And he talks about that. It's like there's never a right time, right? So people always thinking about the time, man, you know what? The game, right? The game gets you like this, man. I'm going to just stack 10 more, dog. And I'm out of there. That's usually when you read about them cats. Or when you read about them either in the trunk of somebody's car burnt up or in the feds for 10 years, right? That's that time where I needed to get that 10 more, man. I'm just, then I'm going to be cool. I'm going to just, nah, man. There's never going to be a right time to make that move. And I'll tell you guys that all the time. There's never going to be a right time to start a business. Never. Oh, man, I'm going to wait till the perfect time. When is that? Right? When's the perfect time to dive into a pool? Wait when the sun hits a certain angle, still going to bite you the same, still going to have the same chill. There is never a perfect time. The perfect time is as soon as possible. And that's the same thing with getting outside your comfort zone. The first time is now, right? You want to do something different? I was at a bike shop today, man, listening to these cats, listening to these dudes. No floor. That's funny. Listening to these cats talk about riding bikes, right? A cat came in there with a $10,000 e-bike. It was insane to me, right? Never thought who would spend $10,000 on a bike. And they were talking about biking in Yosemite and Mammoth. And that was new to me, 100% new to me. And it was uncomfortable because I never thought, man, I couldn't imagine going down Mammoth on a bike. But oh shit, wouldn't that be dope? Right? Putting something change. What is comfort doing for me? I don't know. I can't tell. Not much. Right? You get comfortable, you start gaining weight. You get comfortable, you start getting diseases. Right? Because I was comfortable when I worked at KJLH, sitting in that chair, just chilling, making phone calls. Next thing I know, I'm gaining weight, got heart problems, all kind of stuff because I was comfortable. You got to get uncomfortable, man. Running is uncomfortable. Going outside, exercising, that's not comfortable. That's hella uncomfortable. Getting up, going to the gym is also uncomfortable. Finishing certain school, going to put yourself in school right now when you're probably twice the kid's age, hella uncomfortable. But these are necessary things for you to make these changes in your life. If you want to make a change, you're going to have to get outside your comfort zone. You're going to have to find new friends who come with new suggestions. The homies always still talking to some of them. And I ain't gonna say all of them because some homies is advancing, right? And then when we talk, we just go ahead and break out the blades and start sharpening iron, right? When that happens. But other homies are sitting there talking about the same old, homies, same old chicks, same old time, same every damn thing. And you like, dude, we got to move on. But once you start having those conversations and you get comfortable because they're there, comfort's usually within arm's reach too, right? You know, it's the homies that never have shit to do are always available, within the arm's reach, real comfortable. The ones who are busy, the ones that are challenging, you got to go meet them, man. You got to go to a different part of town. You got to have a different objective. You got to buy a different ticket. You got to do something a little bit different to shake yourself up, right? Comfort is you see cats in the pen, right? You too comfortable, homie. You all set up and everything, man. Look good in yourself, man. This is too much. Why has it got to be this plush up in here? Oh, I'm gonna be here, man. I'm not getting comfortable, homie. I'm gonna make it do what it do. Put my goals up here, but I'm not comfortable here. This is not where I plan to be. And when I read there's this book called Uncertainty, right? And it talks about the only thing that is certain is uncertainty, right? Who would have predicted that we would have been in this position 5 years ago? Hey, man, I'm gonna prepare for COVID. If that's the case, we would have tons of cases of Lysol posted, boxes all through the house. Who needed? We got them on deck like we used to do, right? But who could have predicted something like this? Nobody. Which is the reason why we're all in the same position, because nobody could have predicted it. Now, what we are doing is we're adjusting, right? Because guess what we were? Comfortable. And we got shook. We got shook by a disease that we saw coming. Still couldn't manage the shit. Still couldn't manage it. We're going crazy now, right? Except for the cats who've been programmed, been through something like this. We're not tripping. We up here doing program. We're doing weights. We're studying. We act like we got a 5-year bid with extras, with house visits, with a cable TV and all the stuff that you don't get the pins, but mentally we can still program. That's the difference between some of us, right? Some of us are panicking. Some of us don't know how to hustle. Some of us, our hustles are over with. You know, if you worked at a restaurant, it's going to be tough for you right now unless you could figure out another way to make bread, which is the life of some minorities, right? We've never been comfortable. It's always been bad, right? We've always had to figure out a way how to pull ourselves up, right? So it's never been a comfort thing for us. We don't know how it feels. We're actually low-key spooked when it does happen. Like, man, this is a little too comfortable, man. Something got to go wrong, right? That imposter syndrome kind of, sort of, where we're looking at things and we're like, oh, man, sure, it's a little too quiet in this neighborhood, man. Something got to crack. Like, we having the expectations, right? So we breaking our comfort zone. We getting outside of that. That's something we've never been used to. So this shouldn't be nothing but another day in the park for us. And I don't know how you guys deal with comfort, being uncomfortable. I'm okay with it. The book Uncertainty, when it talked about 100% everything that you're going to deal is uncertain, and that's okay. But look forward to uncertainty. What is certain? Get up the next day and make sure you don't know that. Today could be your last. So how you doing it? Never know, man. I'm going to just act like I got 100,000 days left. Well, you don't know. So how are you going to treat people when you do come in contact with them? Right? So being uncertain about things or not being comfortable should be a normal way of life. And we should get comfortable with being uncomfortable and having that feeling of insecurity. I'm not secure yet. Right? Because anything could happen. Not being in the sense of over paranoia, because that can happen too. But also being in the sense of, hey, you know what? I just need to adjust. I just talked to somebody who told me the Cal State is not going to, Cal State LA is not opening their campus until 2021. So if you didn't have plans and you weren't online, like I've been practicing my online teaching for a while, I've been doing it for the last couple of years. If you're not set up in that space and you're not popular in that space and you don't do well in that space, it's going to be hard for you to find a hustle and a job right now. But what is popping, right? There's certain industries that are popping, so we could take advantage of it while we're in this house. You know, there's things. I'm looking for people that are sewing masks right now. Can't find anybody. It's a damn shame, man. Hard to spend brother bread. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing I'm dealing with. What else is popping? The homie's popping. He's doing telecommunications. He's not without a job. Food is still popping. Fireworks was on. So there's a lot of different hustles going on. There's some that are gone, right? It's a personal training. I don't basketball, things like that. Those things are out right now. It's just the way it is. And it's just a way we got to adapt to being uncomfortable, right? Because we're going to adapt to this. And those who do adapt well are going to be the winners in a sense. But those who don't start saying, "Ah, man, it's all messed up. Ah, man, I can't wait. Ah, man, I should." You can bust down. Like push-ups are free, dog. You don't need any permission or anybody to bust down, right? Go get busy. People are getting in amazing shape. You seen Tyson lately? He's swinging knockouts right now. We can take advantage of why we're sitting here. Why not? I'm studying arithmetic, basic ass arithmetic, man, equations and shit. That's what I'm studying right now on a daily basis on my phone. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about, because this is not a humbling thing, but this is what you should be doing. So I'm studying two-step inequality, so you guys can see this kind of stuff, right? Because I got to retake the GMAT, man. I'm planning on going to get my PhD, so I got to humble myself in order to do something like this. This is stuff that I'm doing in my spare time. Khan Academy is 100% free. You can study for the GMAT, SAT, whatever the case may be. And I already have a master's degree. I don't technically need it, but I'm going after my PhD and I want to get a higher score. So these are the things that I'm doing. Khan Academy sets you up on a path. You can look just to put it out there. And those who don't eat it up, man, that's on you, homie. That's on you. But I'm giving out game. So these are my courses that I'm working on. So you guys can see. Let me see. So the first one's algebra basics and statistics. Then I'm going to statistics and probability again. Then I'm going into grammar. And then I'm going to do GMAT again. That like that. That's what I'm up to, dog. So you start here with the free stuff. And I already bought the GMAT program, book, the whole nine. But I realized that my foundation wasn't money, right? And the reason why my foundation wasn't money is because when I was in school, teachers didn't care. They really didn't care. Like if you were having emotional or mental issues at that time, they kick you smooth out of class, which a lot of us got because we were hungry. Most of the time it was because we were hungry. Because as adults, we act like nutcases when we haven't had anything to eat. And the same thing holds true when we're kids, right? So when we're in class, feed the boy. He'll probably calm his ass down, right? Or go running, exercise, all that stuff. And they'll probably calm his ass down. But most of the time, we don't think like that. And my teachers at that time didn't think like that. So I'm missing foundational stuff, the basics, right? That's why my grammar's still suspect, right? Because I missed the basics on that. So I got to go back now that I'm an instructor and I know how to teach my damn self, right? This is how you humble yourself, get out of your comfort zone and get ahead of things, right? I can't sit up there and just act like, oh, man, I have a master's degree now. And last time I was in an algebra class, dog, probably 20 years ago. And if they're asking me basic algebra questions, this is stuff that I need to know, not only for myself, but for the people that are around me. So my son, he'll eventually, and my daughters. I mean, my daughter, I don't have daughters, but my daughter will eventually have algebra. And I want to be nice enough to where, hey, man, do this. Here's the properties and all these different things that come along with that, right? But I need to refresh myself. And you should go down there and see in my garage, there's scratch paper everywhere. I'm down there with pencils wherever I can do it, wherever I can. I'm not comfortable. I'll sit up there with my feet up. Like I could sit in this chair and chill literally all day. My TV's right here. Everything is money. Listen to my music, go get me a sandwich, come back and sit my monkey butt down. But for what? When I could sit here and do this, I can move my computer off of here. I can start writing stuff down. I can start moving the needle on that. And then I also have a research that I have too many things that I could be doing rather than sitting there posted up and chilling, looking for comfort, right? Because that's the one thing I always say, oh, sleep is the cousin of death. And that's super comfortable. So I don't want to be that comfortable, right? Because when you're comfortable in the game, guess what? You start slipping, homie. Because whenever we got comfortable, that's when cats started approaching us. We get lazy. Oh man, let the homegirl chill. Let her bring her to no. Not program, homie. Period. We're not doing that. So that's one thing that I've learned, that that being comfortable at any level can hurt you in the long run, right? Physically, in the game, in regular life, in corporate life, because you could sit there and be comfortable in a corporate position, and guess what they come do? Man, you know what? We know you're about a year off from retirement, and we were just thinking like, you know what? We just want to move in another direction, and they cut you before you can actually collect retirement. You can't do anything about that, especially in California. This is a at-will state. That means they can fire you at will at any time, no excuses, no nothing. You could try to file your claim, but that's what it is out here. And people, I've seen them sit in jobs, get comfortable, start getting. I remember I've heard about people getting comfortable with overtime and starting to set up their lifestyles based on overtime, which is a privilege from what I understand. But they've gotten so comfortable to where if that gets cut, they're done. Lifestyle's over with, chick gone, boat getting repoed, dually gone, truck, everything, all back. Because they wanted to be comfortable, right? And they wanted to set it up, overextending themselves. No. I'm not saying don't treat yourself, but you want to be somewhat humble in a sense, right? So how do you guys feel about it? What's your opinion about comfort? You guys think it's something that we should be doing? We should does it hinder you or does it help you? My belief is that at a certain age in life, I think you should be comfortable, right? I think you should be chilling. You shouldn't be running around. And there's different stages of comfort, right? We like right now, our refrigerator's full, making, we're comfort in that sense. But we're not in the sense to where we're going to sit in the house all day long. Like we're going to go ride bikes. We're getting ready to do something to get these bodies moving. So we're not just sitting there, right? Just sitting there sedentary, right? Because that's the one thing that does lead to heart disease. So this is for all the homies who don't know that. The more you're sitting and that's in trucks too, homie. And you guys need to keep moving, keep them legs moving. You get out, go run, put your sweats on, bring a basketball, bring your bike, and start riding around the truck stop or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you can do to keep it moving. Because if we don't move, our heart's gonna stop, right? It's like an engine, right? More you let my grandma, that's why she bowled up into her late 70s and 80s, because she said whenever you stop moving, it's gonna stop working. So we need to constantly be having these things in motion, and we need to check ourselves. Go run. Like I said, bring your bike. Best investment I ever made was getting a bike rack for my car, because then you look at your neighbor and say, man, they can't ride no bike around here. That very well may be the case. There's no bike lane, no none of that. But you can put your bike on a bike rack, get in your car, and you can go to wherever and ride whatever. You can go to downtown, park your bike a little bit close to downtown, and go ride around downtown. Whatever the case may be, let's get back to what we was a kid, because that's what we did. We explored. We didn't want to be in the house. We didn't want to sit there and watch TV and feel like we've been comfortable because we weren't working. We have to go to. Yes, indeed, I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? You have to do that, and if you don't, the thing about it is, how are you going to grow? You stick with them 10s, you lift them 10s, you stay in the 20s and you get comfortable with that. Now you go every time you go, man, I do 10 sets with the 10s. Yeah, but your arms are still the same size, homie. And the same thing holds true with your growth in life. Yeah, man, you still talking about, I can tell by where you've been based on what you're talking to me about. And if it's not elevating, that means one of us is growing, one of us isn't. I'm interested in talking about all kind of stuff now because I'm finding out more and more things, right? My wife's just doing her nursing thing. So now she's in this class about the psychology, the stages of lifespan development or something like that. And I'm interested in that. So I'm interested in whatever's growing, right? Whatever's going to lead me to a path of enlightenment is what I'm interested in. And I want to be enlightened so that I can share. You want to be a beacon to people. You want to be a library to people. You want to be a resource to people. You don't necessarily want to be a burden, right? When people come at me and they come and say, hey, man, you got a book. Do I? What are you interested in? I'm interested in motivation. I'm interested in growth. Okay, well, here, I'm interested in starting my business. Like, I'm interested in doing this. I'm interested in keeping business steady, but controllable. I don't want to get to the point where it's too much out of control and I don't have any control over it, or my quality control was lacking. So if somebody came at me and asked me something to that, I would say, hey, man, Small Giants, Bo Burlington, you'll love it. Stories after stories about small businesses that stayed small and done extraordinary things. See my vocabulary right there. But that's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm promoting. That's what I want to be, that beacon, right? What do you want your legacy to be? Oh, man, all he did was talk about when they was teenagers. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. Right? My legacy is going to be every time he got around people, he made them better. That's what I want my legacy to be. Whenever I got around Dwayne, man, after I left, I knew more. I felt better about myself, and I had some things that I was looking forward to. That's the legacy that I want to leave. That's the legacy that I like to promote. And I agree. This is what I want you guys to do. Look at what your legacy is going to be, and it's not going to be comfortable, man. He chilled, dog. You don't want that to be your legacy, right? Your eulogy, and at your funeral or whatever, man. You know what? This dude was so comfortable, man. He had house shoes. He had a nice bed. His chair was dope. All he did was just post up and chill. Which what book? Uncertainty? Were you talking about Uncertainty? Let me see. If it's Uncertainty, I'll pull it up. Reggie, let me see. Let's see. Let me share this with you guys. Hold on one second. Always got to share a book with you guys, man. This is what I does. Let me see. Show and stream. If this isn't the book, Reggie, let me know. This is Uncertainty Turning Fear and Doubt into Brilliance. Fantastic book. I listened to it on The Small Biz. Oh, my bad. My fault, homie. Let me do that one. It's called Small Giants by Bo Burlington, but I'll pull it up. Let me stop sharing that. And let me share this with you guys. Yeah. So, and another good one too, Reggie, is there's a book by what's a Small Deli, but that, I mean, it's more restaurant, but they do some amazing branding. I think I've shared that with you guys. Small Giants, Bo Burlington. Let's see. Up on Amazon. That one. That looks like him right there. Small Giants by Bo Burlington. Companies that choose to be great instead of big. So you can see it's got 100 ratings, 4 stars. This audio book trial thing, I mean, audio book is fantastic. It's a really good resource, man. So is that the book, Reggie? Hopefully. Yeah, so that's a few of the book suggestions. These are some of the ones that I've suggested over time. You guys can definitely tap in with those. Small Giants is a really good book, especially if you're along those lines, or where you not necessarily have the manpower. You want to kind of stay small, but do a good job. You want to do great things, right? Big doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? Because I've seen big go away fast, and that doesn't mean a lot. But being great, doing amazing things, being amazing, that moves the needle, right? That makes the difference. And it's a slow grind. This is not a fast, I got to flip this, flip that type grind, right? It's a slow grind. And I hope people understand that building a business takes a really long time. And I wish people would have told me that a lot more as I progressed in business. So it takes a long time to build a really good business. Please take your time. That will conclude our tap in for the week, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave comments down here. We really appreciate that. Make sure you listen to that podcast. It's on iTunes, anywhere where you get podcasts, Drug Dealers to Businessmen. Leave us the review or a rating, man. We really need it, just because it helps us in the rankings. So if you haven't done that, man, please take your time and do it. It means a lot, man. I leave reviews now, too. It just really does, man. Just be honest, and if you think it's trash, we'll take that, too. But other than that, God bless, and I will see you guys next Monday. Have a wonderful week.